So let's talk about what you can do with Velociraptor now that you've got it going. And I'm going to get my copy of the instructions over on the side because now I'm not going to have to do any more copying and pasting of commands. It's all going to be nice graphical commands. So in your browser, you're controlling your Velociraptor machine, and when you hit the show all, you have a client. Now you're ready to go. So we're going to investigate what's on this client from the Velociraptor server. So when you click it, it shows you an overview of your client. It is running Windows 10 and so on. And you can now learn things about your client. The first thing you can do is use the virtual file system. If you click this, you'll see what's on the client. There's the file system, which is all the regular files that you see in like on the desktop and in the documents folder and stuff. And then there's NTFS, which is direct access to the hard drive itself, so you can see restricted system files like the master file table. And then there's the registry, and I'm not really sure what this artifacts thing is. I never use that. So file will show us no data. This is what you happen the first time you use it. It has not asked the client yet. One thing to understand about Velociraptor is it is asynchronous. It thinks you're running one server and you might have 1,000 clients. So it's like email. It sends a request to the client and it does not wait for the answer. It just goes on to the next job. And then the answer might come in much later. So it doesn't load this automatically, not until I tell it to refresh with this button here. Now it's going to request to the client and say, what are the root drives? And when the client answers, it will fill in here. And hopefully it won't take too long. But if it's going to irritate me by being slow, I'm just going to move to the next bit and come back to it. So NTFS, see if that'll do it. Well, it's not good. I wonder if there's a problem. I doubt it. Maybe I'll take a look at my Windows desktop and see if there's anything weird happening. There shouldn't be. If it was detected, let's see, the Velociraptor service. It's not using too much CPU or memory or anything. And the Velociraptor, oh, TUV, I don't think the Velociraptor service is running. Unless the uppercase and lowercase, oh, this is Task Manager. Let me try services. All right, let's make sure the Velociraptor service is running. And it is. Maybe I just needed to be more patient. Let's try refreshing the whole page. Okay. Show all. My client is there. My VFS is here. Oh, okay, it did load. It was just slow. That's what I thought. So here's, oh, no, I guess maybe not. Here's file. Load. Well, I'm a little troubled by this, but I'm going to move ahead and see if the other things are working and come back to it. Let's see what happens if I do the registry. This makes me... All right, that's not good. Let me go ahead and see if the targeted things work other than these things, because the main thing I use is this artifact thing instead. Let's see if that's working, and if it's not, I may have some kind of debugging to do here. So I go back to show all.
So this
yeah?
Velociraptor is still beta software, as indicated by the 0.60 release moniker. I've found that it does sometimes, even in the field, just stop working for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
And the best solution is to just restart the Windows machine.
Okay, well, that's an interesting idea. Let me try that. Thank you. I've never had it do this to me before. It's been very reliable. However, I'm happy to try that. Okay, so let me try restarting the Windows machine. That is here. That's a good generic solution for everything. Right click, shut down, restart. Let's see what that does. By the way, the reason I'm teaching Velociraptor is because it just got acquired by Rapid7. So they are going to make it into a real commercial product, and I think we can expect it to live and grow and get stronger. And I'm hoping it'll become an industry leader like Splunk, because it really is a good product. And as you can see, a good company putting more development into it will improve it. Right now, it's in the early open source stage. They just got acquired a month or two ago. So we can look forward to Rapid7 coming out with an improved version in the near future, I think. Although I haven't seen any official pronouncements to that effect. That's what I assume when a good company like that buys a product. Okay, let's see if that does it. If I go to my home page and show all clients, I have a client. If I go to VFS and File, oh, good, now things are here. If I go to NTFS, nothing's here. Let's try refreshing this one. Oh, it's working now. Thank you, Caitlin. That was a good workaround. Now I'm happier. Okay, so now we have two drives, C and E, and we can just view what's on the virtual file system. So I could, for example, look at the desktop, C, and then refresh, and then users, and then refresh.
Did you have to restart anything on the Windows box when you restarted?
No, I just restart the whole thing, and it automatically restarts the service.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good. Very good question. Then IE user, and refresh. And desktop, and refresh. And there you go. Here's what's on the desktop, and one of those things should be the Velociraptor repackaged thing. All right, so that's the file system. You can interrogate the file system of the remote machine, and the NTFS just lets you see the same thing. But if you look at the raw system volume here, you'll see some extra structures that are hidden from normal users. These things starting with dollars are restricted system objects. Like, for example, the master file table. This is the table of all the file names on the volume and where they live and the permissions and such, which is used to save files. And you normally see it unless you have forensic access to the raw volume, which is what this is. So you're performing forensics over the network on the volume. And then you got the registry. And if I refresh that, I should see the 5 root hives of the Windows registry, and there they are, HKey, current config, and current user, and all that jazz. So you could go to HKey current user and look in here and see all the usual stuff, control panel and environment and all that. So the whole registry is available too, which is pretty sweet. So you could browse manually and dig your way down to interesting objects, but I never do that. There's a more fun way to do it. If you go home and then show all, and then client ID, and then hit this thing called collected, now you can add an artifact. And there's a whole library of pre-made artifacts that do everything that you could possibly want to do. So in my example, let's do netstat, for example. If I'm on the network status on the machine, I just search for it, and there's a netstat artifact. It will tell you here what it does. This just runs netstat on the machine and lets you see the answer. So if you launch it, it will run and show an hourglass here while it's running. And when it's done, it turns to a check mark. And when you click here, you can go to results, and you see the network status of the machine there. So it's very nice. And this is my favorite thing. And this is how I do everything. I just use the pre-canned artifacts to ask questions of the endpoints, and you can totally do an investigation that way, and we'll do a few. So there's a few flags you can find on IR371. And once you got it going, we're just going to do 2 investigations here where we infect the Windows machine with little harmless imitation malware, a pup and a bot, and then we investigate with Velociraptor and figure out what's happening. And you'll see it's very easy and very nice once you've got it installed and running. So